What's something you think everyone should try at least once in their lifetime? Getting out of your comfort zone for an experience. Sit alone in a crowded area, just observing your surroundings. Take random turns and streets while driving to see what you find. Have a genuine conversation with an influential person, like a celebrity, politician, religious figures, etc. Not minding the differences you both have. Do a charitable act selflessly. Make or invent something. Spend time learning something that may not have a practical use, but will increase your knowledge of the world. The list could go on for a while, so I'll stop there. One thing I believe everyone should try at least once in their lifetime is traveling to a place outside of their comfort zone or familiar surroundings. Tease exploring a new country, immersing oneself in a different culture, or embarking on an adventure in nature. Travel has the power to broaden perspectives, foster empathy, and create lasting memories. It allows individuals to step outside of their routines, challenge their assumptions, and gain a deeper understanding of the world and themselves. Eat at a local restaurant tonight. Get the cream sauce. Have a cold pint at 4 o'clock in a mostly empty bar. Go somewhere you've never been. Listen to someone you think may have nothing in common with you. Order the steak rare. Eat an oyster. Have a Negroni. Have two. Be open to a world where you may not understand or agree with the person next to you, but have a drink with them anyways. Eat slowly. Tip your server. Check in on your friends. Check in on yourself. Enjoy the ride. Anthony Bourdain. Go abroad. This is something a large percentage of people easily do in this day and age, and there is no excuse to never have left your own small hometown. Even if you just go to a nearby country for a quick holiday, it will give you perspective. If money is the issue, go by train, bus, carpool and stay at hostels or whatever, but it's worth the money. It's like being literate, seeing people live differently than you do. Even if you went from US to Canada, and the difference is slight. Psychedelics. I think most people just overly trust their brain's perceptions. Then you eat some mushrooms, or have a few micrograms of LSD, and you think, I can't really trust my brain at all. Not to mention the longer-lasting impacts on your views of nature, and other humans and empathy, etc. I totally get why in many cultures a trip was a rite of passage, and I think once you are old enough you should try to trip at least every 3-5 years or so. NDMA. If you are over 25, in a safe environment, with people you trust and have tested it and take a responsible dose. One of the most incredible experiences one can have, makes it a lot less safe. So I'm happy that we are starting to look at the therapeutic benefits of it, and hopefully we'll see some sort of legalized access to it in the future for mental health therapy. Give of yourself until you're broke and then look back on how many lives you helped that day. And I ain't talking about the people begging outside on the street corner for money, who are addicts and drunks. Doing the 12 steps as in the 12 steps of AA, but for non-addicts, the steps don't have to be about addiction to a substance or behavior, and they can be totally secular. Here is a version with no mention of alcohol, drugs, gambling, etc., as well as no references to God or even a higher power. The 12 steps. Helping assholes stop being assholes since 1938. A motorcycle tour of the country, better yet, the world if you can swing it. I've ridden in most of the US including Hawaii, Mexico, and Canada, and like half a dozen countries in Europe. It's my one great life addiction. I've been riding for more than 50 years. I know it's coming to an end, but I'll ride as long as I can still throw a leg over the saddle and ride safely. A new version of a food you don't like. I hated asparagus for the longest time and never touched it. It turned out my grandma was just shit at cooking it, and when done properly, it's delicious. It's okay to not like a food cooked a certain way. And not liking a food under any circumstance in any preparation is unlikely to be true, and just childish in general. Smoking, lol. My mum always refused that I try it because all my uncles are addicts, and I'm just gonna get addicted as well. But I tried it with my bestie that one day and it felt relieving. And saying only try it once, lol, not be an addict, cause that shit kills. And I'm not gonna try it again. But what I'm saying, I can see why it's addicting. Yourself for a long time, 1 week, maybe 6 hours, or if you have a super chill roommate who could care less. Just strip completely naked and chill. Especially during the summer after a good shower. Just don't forget to use lotion on that skin. And maybe wear an apron when you cook. Traveling alone. Oh, you'll be lonely is the common thing people will say. But I found a group of people in almost every place I've been and struggled to find time for myself. Best thing I ever did. Period. Last trip was a one-way ticket in Malaysia and I ended up traveling with randoms to Thailand and lived there for 2 months. It's interesting how many people suggest psychedelics on this question. Definitely life-changing. It's not for everyone though. Some people get really nuts and wacky and make life hard for everyone else around them when they do this. First-timers should definitely do this in a controlled environment. Learn a new skill. New skills are one of the easiest ways to enrich our lives. Whether you choose to learn a new language or pick up a practical skill, your life is sure to be transformed by your newfound talent. Not to mention once you've mastered it, you'll feel an unrivaled sense of pride. Living alone by choice. Someday, you're probably going to have to, and if you don't know how, it's going to be tough. Source: my mum. After my stepdad passed away, she had never lived alone in 73 years and it was, and is, hard for her in many ways. But particularly loneliness. Pick an item, anything. A stick figure, an apple, a bottle. Draw it 50 times. It has to be drawn different each time. You can make it hairy or with legs. Anything your mind can think of. You can draw over 50 if you like. You will be amazed at what you come up with. Have fun. Visiting a new place or country alone. I went on solo holiday twice and it was fantastic. I know not everyone can afford a solo holiday, but just visit a new to you city. Go sightseeing. Treat yourself to lunch or dinner. One of the best things I've ever done for myself. Living as a primitive human. Ask yourself. Start a fire without modern tools. Spear hunt fish. Make effigies out of bones, wood, and rocks to pace around while chanting praises of the dark spirits of the forest. Make tools, etc. Combat sports. Learning how to fight will teach you values about hard work, discipline, maturity, self-respect, honor, loyalty, self-improvement and anger management. I'm definitely grateful right now for the combat sport I'm training in, and I'm only 4 months into it. Going to another country for a few weeks. I've always thought about exploring a new country and seeing how it is you. I'm a teenager, so I don't have the money for that, but I'm gonna study abroad as a junior to learn more Mandarin and see what China is like. Backpacking holiday, or at least an extended holiday going from one city to another in a different country. It really tests your organization skills, language skills, people skills, navigational skills, problem solving and emotional endurance, in a good way. Working in some type of customer service retail job for like a month. It would be nice to see them see with a consistent BS from both customers and managers for minimum wage. Maybe some of them would become a little more reasonable and considerate. Acid LSD. Not often or even many times. At least a few times in your lifetime. There are those who have taken acid, and those who have not. To those who have not, it is not an experience capable of putting into words. You just have to try it. Do drag, or some other kind of performance art, but drag in particular, where you create a character from scratch and have no script but your own. It's an excellent tool for self-exploration, and not just in the gender expression sense. Making the time to talk to old people. I don't mean that in a worthy preachy way. My mum is 76 and her tap dancing friends, yes, you read that right, get coffee afterwards, and I love chatting to them. Really wise, amazing perspective on life. Scuba diving. It makes you super tired when you're done, but it's amazing. Seeing all the corals and fish and sea urchins. I know not everyone is able to afford things now, but if life was different, it would be a great thing to experience. Being broke. Seriously. Being broke made me realize I should enjoy my earnings and not scrimp and save everything. So now I enjoy my money. Being broke made my ex realize he should have been more cautious with our money. Stepping outside of one's comfort zone, whether it's traveling to a new country, trying a new hobby, or challenging oneself in some way. Pushing boundaries can lead to personal growth and new experiences that enrich life. Going hungry and sleeping rough, even if it's only for one night, it offers an insight to just how miserable some people's lives are, and it may even spark a bit of compassion for people in difficult circumstances. Really look at Milky Way in deep black new moon night away from all light pollution. Even if it means traveling to remote places far from civilization, nothing that man ever made comes close to that for me. Caring for the elderly. I did it while still in high school, and it's impacted my worldview, perspective on health, and not taking life for granted. And given me an appreciation for elders. They've seen a lot. Waiting tables. It's definitely humbling, and I think a lot of people could benefit from some humility. And you learn how to perform many tasks under pressure and deal with ungracious people gracefully.